Hello and welcome to Top 14. Sunday of Fairyhouse is going to be recorded here just before Saturday gets underway. Saturday obviously beating the inspection, which is great news, Deck. That's the first win of the day, I would have thought. How are you?
Yeah, all good, all good. Another podcast and all wine.
Yeah, well, in more teas, yeah, that's the way
Yeah,
it's
becoming a regular occurrence.
possibly driven by my schedule, unfortunately. Yeah, no, are you feeling better? This is the third podcast now you've had with COVID, but I think you're sounding a lot better.
Much better, yeah. Tested negative this morning.
That's another win. 2 wins.
Another win, yeah.
Quick wins.
We're just waiting on the tour now, which was the big chap, wasn't it?
The big chap, yeah, with a bit of luck to nap
Golden
of the
Joy double.
Yeah, nap of the top 13. Yeah, but look, 8 races, 3 grade ones, which is fantastic. We have the Royal Bond Novices Hurdle over 2 miles, the Drinmore Novices Chase over the 2.5 miles, and the Hattons Grace Hurdle over 2.5 miles, which sees the return of last year's Ballymore winner and really impressive novice and Beret Pass. Fantastic card deck. And next week we'll be able to have a quick review over all of the weekend's action. Goes without saying we're recording before Saturday results here, so hopefully we've got a few winners in the bag by the time you listen to this, or maybe while you're watching the Saturday card, who knows. But yeah, we'll get stuck straight into it, Deck, as we have the 8 races. The Bar 1 Racing, bet €10, get €50 sign-up offer. Irish EBF Mares Handicap Chase. Do you have a Bar 1 Racing account, Deck, no?
I don't.
No, I do a great job giving all these sponsors a great show. They should give us something in return.
James Carpets, he should be on to you, yeah.
Very good. Well, Brides Hill topping the weights here. Really impressive start to her season at Listowel. I was down there that day at the Harvest meeting. I think it was Kerry National Day. Made all the running on ground I thought she wouldn't have liked, and she could have gone around again. She was on great terms with herself. The best I've ever seen her jump as well. But she's 7 rivals here, and Hurricane Georgie really experienced in there too. Queen Jane was progressive prior to falling on her last start last season, but still should retain plenty of progression. Bonnie Kelly as well for Sam Curling down there at the bottom. Has had jumping issues, but she did get off the mark last time out. What way do you see this falling, Deck?
Look, I can see, I know there's always been a bit of hype around Brides Hill, and she maybe
driven by me, probably.
Yeah, she kind of has cult status, doesn't she? I've kind of always found it hard to warm to her. I thought she's always threatened to be top class, but she would let you down. And maybe that's just as good as she is. And I've been listening to you saying she
propaganda.
Supremes and stuff like that.
I was a Mare's Novice Hurdle. I don't think I ever said a Supreme.
Maybe I got sucked in a little bit, but I'll take her on here. It's interesting to see Hurricane Georgie in here, because she is she's a battle-hardened handicapper. I think she's won a Midland National, but you'd expect her to be, the handicapper surely has forward in his grips. Must Be Obeyed's another really nice horse. She beat Man Mission in the beginner's chase, and then she followed up in the rated novice chase. She was B6 lengths off 133 at the Punchestown Festival. The first 2 have won since. Now, one I think the Seamus Neville horse won over hurdles. I can't remember who the other horse is now, but 2 of them have gone in again since. But the 2 I like here, the first one's Queen Jane. She's in here at 129. She fell at the last one, challenging the last day, and she looked to be coming with a run, and I think she might have won that race. She was on a 3-timer that day. She's gone up £1. A slight worry she might want further, but then she might get the test she wants here, because they could go quick here in a competitive enough race. And the other is Time to Rocco. She's in off 125. She's a point winner, bumper winner, hurdle winner, and a chase winner. This is our handicap debut on our 8th start. Look, over fences, I do like handicap debutants, but on our 8th start, the handicapper has had a good time to have a look at her as well. She's been running in graded races and listed races, and Danny Gilligan is booked. So I'm not sure what Danny's taken off, but wherever Danny's taken off, he's well worth it. He's
Yeah.
one of the few climbers. 5, is it?
Mm.
Yeah, he's one of the few climbers that is well worth every
Well,
pound
yeah.
of it. I'm surprised Gordon's gone to let him ride.
Mm.
So yeah, I'd have between Queen Jane and Time to Rocco.
Yeah, interesting thing about Time to Rocco now, she was stuffed by Brideshill at Listowel. Like, Brideshill could not have beaten her much easier. But there is a 15-pound swing in the weights, and that's before you take into account Danny Gilligan's claim. So if, depending on how much you do like Danny Gilligan, you can effectively say there's 20-pound swing. So they should be a hell of a lot closer. You would have thought. And if Brideshill can beat her, giving, you're depending on what way you like to look at form when you take claimers into account, 15 to 20 pounds. Brideshill, like, she'd want to be a proper graded mare to probably win this, but I think she is. So I'm gonna stick with her. I think I love the thing about Gavin Cromwell. It's I think it's his most underrated aspect as a trainer. He can inherit horses, or he can bring horses along, and at the start of their careers, they can jump, as you'd say, Declan, like snooker tables. Some of them have awful jumping issues, but I don't know what it is. He's able to educate a horse, and by the time they get into their second and third seasons, they're seasoned veterans, and you very rarely ever see them make a mistake. And he's done this with mares as well in the past. What's her name? That she wore the red by Jeremy. She always fell.
Flame.
Yeah, Jeremy's Flame, is it? Jeremy's Flame? Perfect example. She couldn't jump her shadow, and then by the time she on her second or third season over fences, she was in the champion chase betting. So like, he's really, really good, and he's kind of done with Brideshill. Brideshill was a very dodgy novice, and you could see it in her form. But she looked like a different mare at Listowel, and she looked like she could go around again. She was on very, very good terms with herself. And I just think she's a graded filly mare waiting to happen, and I'll be sticking with her. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if she went and win this and I wasn't on her. Already happened to me at Listowel, because I had those jumping issues in the back of my head. But she was brilliant. So it'll be Brideshill for me. And Deck, you liked Queen Jane and Time to Rocco, was it?
Queen Jane and Time to Rocco, yeah.
Absolutely, no worries. All right, well, we'll jump on to the 12:25. It's bar one racing again. I think they do the whole card, don't they? Price boost across all channels, juvenile hurdle. This is a grade 3. Won last year by the Triumph Hurdle winner, Lossiemouth. And there was plenty of winners in behind that day. Comfort Zone in behind, who won plenty of races too. And I think Nurse Ray was in behind too, was he? It was a very, very strong race last year. Long story short. Nürburgring is the horse you probably want to talk about, Deck. Obviously second to Wadu. Well, not really second. He was actually first past the post, wasn't he? Gelded first time now. Carla Conti, who made a great start to Irish Life at Navan 2 weeks ago, albeit she had a very simple task, but again, couldn't be pulled up after the line. Go on, Deck. Go ahead here.
Yeah, I'll just go through the form of some of the others before getting to Nürburgring, because some of it does tie in. Obviously, I was very interested to see the Batman Girac. He's a winner in France, but he's a first-time Hood here for Willie. So,
oh boy,
we might see another. I just thought back for Max when I seen him. So, let me have a look. Who's Paul Townend's taking the ride? I'd say have sore arms after this one.
It's never good when you see the Hood on first time. It's oh boy, he's probably a head banger. Probably came from France via Gary Morse.
Stop over on the way, slip that on. Eagle Fang, he was second to Hands On at Cork. Hands On could be a nice one, because we had Caluson back and forth there. Eagle Fang was then second to Fratas at Fairyhouse. And Fratas made got a really, really good ride off Guy O'Sullivan out in front. Gave Fratas a bit of a breather and coasted home, really. Eagle Fang was 13 lengths to clear the third. Fratas could be another nice one as well. Caluson, after finishing fourth at Cork, he's gone and won at Galway and was ahead of Aus Partir. Is that what we're calling?
We'll have to go with it. I'll get my pronunciation. I'll give my attempt now. Auspartier, yeah, we'll go Auspartier, yeah, go on.
Auspartier. That was Auspartier's jumps debut. I thought it was a nice enough run for his jumps debut, and I think he's going to improve. He could improve past Calusin on Sunday. But yeah, like I mentioned, hands on there winning that Cork maiden. Nürburgring, as you said, he was forced past the post ahead of Woodoo. He gave her £13 that day, and hands on was 8 lengths back. He's been gelded since, and it's his third hurdle run. I think he could be a right one. Like, you know, I know what was the one? Who did we talk about? Dr. Bandit, was it last week?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Dr. Bandit.
Yeah, like he obviously looks very, very nice. But Nürburgring and Cossack Shack, they're not. You know, their colours aren't flashy. Their silks aren't flashy. They're not coming from, you know, the yards where you're used to seeing or the owners are used to seeing having Triumph winners. So there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of noise about them. But I reckon Cossack Shack will get the better of Woodoo the next day. Now, she's obviously improved and she won on the hands and heels at Newbury yesterday. But Nürburgring, you know, if he's improved, I think he could be really, really nice. And I'd be keen on him in this race. I don't know I don't even think he'd be favourite for this, to be honest. I don't think people are really thinking about him at all. But I think it could be a nice one. I think he takes this. It's interesting that Nora, very easy winner at a tie, you know, started at a tie, didn't start in the provinces or, you know, a smaller track, went to the main course in France. And Cala Conti was impressive at Navan. It was a 3-runner race, so it's hard to gauge, but I think Cala Conti's probably going to be favourite here, but it'll be...
I just thought so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm following that form. We've talked about a lot, that Cork race, that Galway race. It might have taken a bit of knock recently, but I think Nürburgring is way ahead of them, and you can use that form to find that.
Yeah, and what he's shown, he probably is. Again, you're getting into the time of the season there where the proper juveniles will be coming out. Yeah, I was looking through that Nara form. I've never seen it. She won a listed race for unraced horses over obstacles, which that spun my head how a race can be of listed status, but nothing's ever ran. But anyway, each to their own. We've weirder conditions in here and in England anyway. She rocks a first time hood as well, which is quite interesting. But she couldn't have been really much more impressive on her debut. Again, hard to know what she's beaten, but you know, she's been picked up by the right connections. I'm sure Henry de Bromhead, he's had some nice juveniles in the past, especially over the last couple of seasons. He's never had a tip top one. He has. He's had Quilixios. What am I talking about? Yeah. Although he did inherit it.
He inherited Quilixios.
He inherited how, yeah. So I don't think he's ever really had a tip top one from the start. He might have had one a good few years ago. I think he won a Triumph Hurdle years ago, possibly. But yeah, no, Nara is the one that really caught my eye out of kind of the ones on domestic debut. But yeah, no, Nürburgring is the standout on form, and Cala Conti, I was impressed with her at Navan again. She took an age to pull up, but she only won a 3-runner race where Gordon Elliott had 2 of the runners, and it was a hack canter. Like, we just learned nothing about her. We know she's obviously talented, there's no denying that, but you'd be getting a price basically on reputation at this stage, really. So yeah, I'd be taking Nürburgring myself. Interesting Richie Deegan riding. I suppose JJ Slevin definitely has that job now. Obviously, he's for host per tier, so that was fair enough. And Joseph probably winding it down on the national hunt scene, though he does have the odd juvenile still. Right, Deck, well, we can move on then to the 12.55, and this is a race for the stayers. It's the Bar 1 race and guaranteed overnight prices, Porterstown Handicap Chase. And I think I tried to pick out a horse for this a good few weeks ago, but I don't think it's actually after turning up. It was definitely when we were covering Cork, I think. Anyway, it's escaped my mind. But this, again, very competitive. Manella Crooner, last time out winner at Wexford, in a race that's been won by the likes of Manella Indo and Noble Yates as well. So, it's a race that's done well in the immediate past. he's probably the one that's going to set the standard in terms of favoritism. What would you think, Dak?
Yeah, it's his first time in a handicap as well. Like he's always threatened to be, he's always threatened to be a good horse, and did he finish second in the Grade 1 novice hurdle at Leopardstown?
He did, yeah, to Manila Kakuna,
Jerry Hannon had a tricky one that day.
It wasn't easy, yeah.
Yeah, but I think was he pulled up in the Albert Bartlett then, or he missed it?
He missed it. He was favoured for it, and he missed it.
Yeah, look, it's his first time in a handicap, so I was drawn to him straight away. But I'm really struggling to have a strong fancy in this. Like I do like Manila Crowner. I like four of them really. Velvet Elvis, a pound lower, 143. He beat him. He beat Manila Crowner. 3 lengths in February, getting £3. He's beat 9 lengths down at Punchtown Festival of 145. Obviously dropped £2. Glen Quinn Castle, he got his head in front again in September. Didn't he rack up a load of wins a couple of
Glen
years
Quinn
ago?
Castle, yeah, he did. Yeah, he was rattling them off like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was over hurdles, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's a few over fences too. Sorry, there's a few over fences too.
But when the penny dropped, like it was 5 or 6 or something. Maybe it was more.
It was 6 or 7. I think it might have been 7.
6 or 7. Look, he got his head again. Got his head in front again in September. He's had 2 tours since. He's up £1 for the 5-length tour in the Cork National. But I'm not sure that could be enough to close the gap with Call the Tune. Call the Tune. He was short-headed. He's up £4. He's short-headed that day at Cork. I think he's going to reverse the form with Sir Bob. And out of the 4 of them, I'd probably, if I was forced to have a bet, it'd probably be with Call the Tune. But I do like any of the 4 of them: Manila Crowner, Velvet Elvis, Glen Quinn Castle, and Call the Tune. I think it's a really, really good race. It's very competitive, and it's not one I'm forcing to have a bet in, to be honest, because I'm struggling to really nail it down, to really have a fancy.
Right.
I'd rather put the money back on Nürburgring before then.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm very interested in the way my design is going to be ridden, the mare, because she could blow this wide open. She usually goes from the front, and she's gone. I think she's gone this trip once before, at Downpatrick. I think it was Downpatrick anyway, and it was she was second, and she did blow the race. She didn't really blow the race wide open, and I don't know if you could say she really did. It'd be unfair to say she didn't stay, because I think she was a decent enough second. But she struck me as an improving mare this year. I don't know if Listowel overly suited her when she was behind Brideshill. She did jump a little bit right, and that is a bit of a tighter track. She was brilliant at Galway, but she kind of did have it her own way, really to an extent. Obviously, Fernilly,
she got a lot of weight
that day,
didn't she?
She did, yeah. She got £5. She's off 133, and she is by Scorpion, but she doesn't seem to have inherited that that crazy streak. She's just a mare. Exactly. So she's exactly. Yeah, God knows she's probably like a mad Elwyn in the back at home. Anyway, I'm just quite interested that she's clearly thriving, and she's boasted a pretty decent profile this year. Obviously still amateur ridden, but obviously jockey knows her. Or W Baron. That
might be to do with her being a Scorpion.
Yeah, that could be it. They might just know her. So I'd be kind of interested in taking a chance. Just make use of her. Try and play a catch me if you can type of role. We've seen it work around Fairyhouse before. Like usually you need to be prominent in the Irish National.
Yeah, it's a track to do it. All right, but the Irish National, like on good ground at Easter.
Yeah, it's easier
to do. Like it could be a tough slog today. It's only soft, but Fairyhouse can get, if it gets heavy, like you can get really, really testing. But it's kind of, Fairyhouse is like, once you climb to Ballyhack, you're nearly downhill the whole way. You're probably downhill like it's not like a roller coaster, like, you know, but you're downward anyway for maybe like certainly half a mile, maybe more, maybe the half of a mile, like, you know. So it can be hard to reel one in that's jumping.
Yeah, and one of the kind of tougher fences on the track at the very, very top of Ballyhack, that's actually been moved to as they make the turn. They'll be jumping it as they make the turn. I think that's just to go to the ground.
Fences down the back.
They're not. They've altered fences. It's the straight before the home straight. There's going to be like a long run in, so they've kind of moved obstacles around to try and combat the low-lying sun, which is a great move.
Yeah,
but it could make these.
Straight,
yeah, there's two in the straight. Yeah, there could be maybe three in the straight. I think there's still two in the straight. I think they pushed the fences back, the other way. So look, it's great to see, you know, them actually making an effort to combat the low-lying sun, but it could make it a serious test though. Like they could get raising very early as a result. But look, it is what it is. It's better than them not jumping at all. So I'll take a chance on my design, just to see if she's ridden handily. I think she's a mare on good terms with herself, and she might be a little bit disrespected in the market. So taking a little chance there, Jack. Are you sitting this one out, or are you putting up all four?
I won't put up all four, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see any of the four win, but I'll side with Call the Tune, but I probably not. I probably won't have a bet.
Yeah.
Unless like I'm a bit giddy and flush.
Yeah.
Races.
Exactly. Yeah. Your play spot should be safe if you're putting in four. Anyway, we'll go to the first Grade 1 on the day, which is the Royal Bond Novices Hurdle, Grade 1. Won last year by Marine Nationale, the Supreme Novices Hurdle winner. And if you're getting a pattern now, that's two Cheltenham Festival winners from last year on this. That came from this card last year. So definitely worth very much keeping an eye on. 8 runners. October was great to see him back after an injury sustained after winning a point-to-point, and he looked none the worse for it. We have betting here, Deck. He's your 2-1 favourite. And Canto Bruno, who was absolutely brilliant at Cheltenham. Really enjoyed watching him going around last October. Ground seemingly absolutely imperative to him, and I would wonder if his participation would be in doubt if the ground was soft. Fasol Mode, obviously making a winning life to Hurdle's life, and then Farron Glory, another who was good on his Hurdle's bow. So Deck, if you want to take us through the 8 runners here, who do you fancy?
Yeah, look, I did think October's debut was really, really nice, and he's a horse that I kind of gave a good bit of stick to because there was a lot of hype about him for a long, long time after winning the point-to-point, and so often these, you know, expensive purchases from the point-to-point field end up being both. But I thought that was nice, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go and win this and put in a nice performance. He beat Champagne Admiral on his racecourse debut, and he's followed up at Limerick. I think Champagne Admiral is a nice horse as well. But look, I will take him on. He's, you know, I'll probably turn around and, you know, Sunday night and think, geez, what was it down 2-1? My money, you know, the hype is real. Canto Bruno, he was a very good bumper horse, and he was very, very impressive under a really nice ride from Keith Dunhu in Cheltenham. It was an Irish 1-2-3 that day, which makes me think that the form is maybe not quite top class. Who was a tag man was in third, and who was second?
Who's this?
Mel Monroe's, was it? Mel Monroe's of Gordon Elliott.
Monroe's.
Something.
Yeah,
like that.
Mel Monroe's is Mel Monroe's. Yeah, she was second, and then she ran okay. She nearly slipped the field in a graded race the last day. I think she's better than what she's shown, but we can talk about that next time she's out. So.
Look, I can't have is definitely into deeper waters here, but look, deserves to take his chance, but I'm not sure he's quite top class. Farron Glory, he made his debut in the Grade 2, won by Nick Rocket, or his jumping debut anyway, last Easter. He beat Irish Panther by 9 lengths on seasonal debut. I think that's a really good performance. Daddy Longlegs beat him by 11, 12. Yeah, you know, so Farron Glory could be a really nice horse, and it's probably not, you know, maybe just not carrying a sexy profile, but You know, on that line
Probably, sorry, Dex, probably worth noting, he would have won further. He did make a hash the
Yeah.
last a little bit, but he probably just got a bit lonely and wandered around. But he would have won further if he jumped the last a little bit better.
Yeah, look, he's the type that could spring a surprise here. But it shouldn't really be a surprise if you're, you know, if you like that what Daddy Longlegs done the other day, you have to like what Farron Glory done. What's Up Darling beat the Capo at Navan. He could be a nice horse as well. I just, you know, I going to give a chance to Facile Mode here. His form, you could kind of say his form dipped after a really impressive bumper form, but he ran in all the good bumper races. But I thought he couldn't be any more impressive on his hurdle debut, and he's only a 5-year-old. I think he's the youngest of all these. And I think Tom Mullins could have a really, really nice horse here. I think people are gone off him. I know you were mad about him after his
I was really
debut at Leopardstown. You know, I think over hurdles we could see the potential he showed that day, and I think he's going to be, you know, a bit of a forgotten horse until he wins a nice race, which could be this one tomorrow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's a horse that you have to definitely keep an eye on. My only question about him, and it'd be horrifically unfair to kind of brand him this as a 5-year-old, but he's been impressive now in his first starts, like his first bumper start and his first hurdle start. I wonder now, would he be maybe a better horse when fresh? That's the only, but like again, he didn't really have a race for his maiden hurdle. Like he would have known he was in a race for his, you know, in his first bumper. I don't think he would have known he was in a race on his hurdle bow. So it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on. So you're sticking with Facile Mode, okay? And that's that's absolutely.
It's kind of it's a hot race, I think. October could turn out to be that horse everyone hyped them up to be. But Farron Glory could be the forgotten one, because if you like what Daddy Longlegs did, you have to like what Farron Glory did. But I just think Facile Mode 5-year-old, I think he could be a bit the forgotten horse, and I think he could be really, really nice. He could fulfill that potential he showed on his bumper debut over hurdles.
Yeah, no, that's completely, it's a very fair take. I haven't really, well, I kind of did. I lost my faith in him a little bit as a bumper horse, but he did nothing wrong over hurdles, and he's a horse that I would love to see get back on track, and he already has in a sense. But this is definitely going to be a big test for him. I found a lot of these horses deck as possible stayers. King of Kingsfield's without a doubt a stayer. What's Up Darling, I think, is a future stayer as well. Just really got up in the lines to run down El Capo off a pretty sedate gallop. Did well to win that, to be honest, but I could see him being taken off his feet too. Haratsu Dari, there's a plan for this horse for sure. 134 in Ireland, and if you watch his last two runs, but behind Man at Work, Firm Footings, he's just been outpaced at pivotal times and ran on really, really well. Won a few races at the back end of last season in Punchestown.
Has he been outpaced or let the race get away from him?
No, he's just been outpaced. I don't think they've let the race get away from him. Like, he was 9-4 on to beat Firm Footings last day, and Firm Footings just ran away from him. Ran really well at the Punchestown Festival behind Seddon, and that was his only attempt at 2.5 miles, and it was a really good effort, to be honest with you. I just think the second this horse sees 3 miles, and I wouldn't be surprised if Willie was maybe, if he stuck him in a pretense qualifier, it really wouldn't surprise me. And I think he's a horse you need to keep a very close eye on if he does step up to 3 miles in the future, because I think that's what he is. And I'll just be interested to see how he runs. Bailey Stock's similar. I think he needs a little bit further, but I don't think he's as an exciting profile as his stablemate ridden by Danny Mullins.
Kind of disappointed he didn't go chasing.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably, to be honest, both should have gone chasing, but I just think there's a plan for Haratsu Dari, and I would imagine it's a 3-mile handicap hurdle. On Tober, as you said, great to see him back from a serious injury. Did absolutely nothing wrong, and you kind of said it yourself. I think you're looking here, and this is a result that could look extremely obvious, and you're getting 2-1. And I've been a fallen victim to that so many times. Yeah. But I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna go for October. I was really impressed with him on his hurdling debut. I do think Facile Vega has every chance of following him. Facile Vega, oh my God. Facile Mode has every chance of following him home. but I will stick with the hot pot. But no, it'd be great to see Fossil Mode run a big race, and you're absolutely right. Tom Mullins does have a really, really nice horse in his hands there. We'll move on deck to the next grade one, so, and that is the Drinmore Novices Chase over 2.5 miles. Only the 5 runners, and yet again, Willie Mullins is running an Irish national winner or an Irish national runner in the Drinmore. He obviously had Gaillard de Menil, who just came up short. He ran in this last year. He's had Burrows Saint, and Burrows Saint ran well, and I think it was the one I think was that the one Fakir Duderee won? I think it might have been. Anyway, it's Ian Maximus is a novice for another 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So they're taking advantage of perfect starting point for him, in my opinion. He also has a rating of 158. Obviously, trip being a little bit shorter than ideal. Well, Jody McGarvey on him, I wonder if they'd try and go forward with him. Maybe not, but we'll see. Let's be clear.
Jody's obviously on him because he's not well in the head, isn't it?
Jody, I am. Yeah, what was his name? I am unwell.
I think, is he?
Yeah, he's a bit of a headbanger as well. But yeah, Paul Townend was borderline sorcery to win the Irish National on last year. It was an outrageous ride, and he's gonna be taken on here by Found a 50. Let's be clear about it. Another JP McManus horse who I have a lot of time for, but fell last time out. Percival Lagawa, and the old timer Sharjah, who steps up to 2.5 miles, sets a wonderful standard over fences. And look, he was brilliant to Tipperary, but this is another test for him. And what way do you see this one falling, deck?
Look, if the ground was good, I would be all over Sharjah. I just think, like, it's only April that he was chasing home Constitution Hill. Like, you know, he got Constitution Hill into a race. It's the only horse we've seen half get him off the bridle, like, you know. Now, I know that was the end of a long, hard season for Constitution Hill, but like Sharjah, he's been what a horse to own. Like, you know, he's replacing 3-4 champion hurdles. Did he break Hurricane Fly's record or equal at Leopardstown?
He won 4 Madisons, didn't he? Madison's.
Yeah, like he's, you know, and he's taken to chasing like an absolute natural, and he's absolutely loving his racing. He's still full of beans. He's attacking fences. He's not showing any signs of his age, a 10-year-old now, but it's just he's at his best on good ground. Although he has handled soft in the past, he's got run a big race, like, you know, but it was good ground. I'd be all over him. Let's be clear about it. He's 2 from 2 over fences. Like, he was a good bumper horse and then kind of didn't really show that potential, but now that he's gone over fences, he's looking like he will. He bolted up in the grade 3 at Cork. Mighty Tom has let that form down a little bit, going to Cheltenham and finishing last of the finishers in the Arkle trial. Maybe in a bit too short from the trip. Found a 50 is probably the one I'd side with tomorrow. He was a little hit and miss as a novice hurdler, but his chase debut couldn't have been any more impressive. I thought he was really, really good. There's so much to like about him, and he's the one who could find the most improvement over fences. And what age is Found a 50? Do you have it there?
Found a 50 is a 6-year-old. He's the joint youngest in the field of Percival Lagawa.
Yeah, look, I definitely think he could be one to find the most improvement. But look, yeah, I am Maximus, Irish national winner. He was only 10 lengths forth in the RSA, to be fair, as well. Like, you know, and what was...
Yeah, good run.
It was a good race, like, you know. And Percival Lagawa, he was probably beat when he fell at Cork.
Yeah.
He was very good in his chase debut. Will he be off?
I think he's a 3-miler all day long, so I don't think he'll need to be. I could see him going okay until they get racing before the home straight, and I think he'll just be outpaced. I think he'll come home well, but the race will be over.
Yeah, being gone. Yeah, look, it was good ground. I'd be all over Sharjah, and I wouldn't write him off in this. Like, I wonder, will he be the one? Like we discussed, Gaelic Warrior. Like, I would not send him to Cheltenham, and I'd go back here for the Old Powers Gold Cup.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it's called now, but I wonder, will Sharjah be the one to not go to Cheltenham and go back here on good ground for the Old Powers Gold Cup? I'd let Sharjah take his chance in Cheltenham because he clearly likes the place.
Would you let him take a chance over 3 miles? given his age and how much he likes the old course and how tight it is?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I'd probably see how he comes home in this
Yeah.
before making that decision. But I'd let him go to Cheltenham. We've seen Faheen. There was Faheen a year younger. He was 10, was he?
I think Fahim might have been 11.
11. So
Fahim was 11. Fahim was he was same age. Fahim was 11 when he won at Leopardstown and just was denied in the Marsh.
Yeah. Okay. So he's going to be the same age.
Same age. Yeah. 10 rising 11. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
is great to see. Like they are race horses at the end of the day, and so many times people said, "Oh, retired," and he's clearly loving his racing. Like he is loving chasing. So let him race on. I think it's great to see, and he's still doing it at the top level. Although in novice company, it's
yeah.
Do you
know what? Actually, I think Fahim might have been 11 rising 12.
We'll get back to it. 12 in the Marsh.
I'll double check that. I actually think he might have been. Anyway, yeah, I'll double check that. But
right. Yeah, look, if he found a 50 for me tomorrow, but when Charger gets back on good ground, I'll be backing him against any of the novices, I think.
Yeah, look, he sets the standard, and that's the thing with novice races, and it's kind of the opposite of the way I would. I'm just checking the flow gas. Yeah, for him as a 12-year-old when he won the flow gas, which means he would have been a 12-year-old in the Marsh. So that is outrageous.
Would Charger be the best jumper of all the novices we've seen?
I don't know, because of the caliber of horse he's been going up against. That's the kind of he's going up against now a better caliber of horse over fences. Like he's beaten the living daylights out of a horse I have a lot of time for in Captain Combi, but all of these should be beating Captain Combi senseless. You would have thought, as much as I do like that horse. So the way I would see it, Dak, you've kind of alluded to it, that like Sharjah, and you could maybe even argue, let's be clear about it, at his age, 8-year-olds. Sharjah's definitely the finished article, probably coming on the decline a bit. Let's be clear about it. Given his lack of experience over fences, might have a few pounds up his sleeve, but you'd imagine by springtime that's who he is. Meanwhile, found a 50 Percival Lagua, and you could probably even still argue why Maximus should be still improving. However, let's be clear about it. In Charger are the finished articles right now, and Gavin Cromwell's made no secret. He actually said the one race he wanted to win in Ireland, if he could pick one race to win, was the Drimore. So
this is one of my favorite races of the year.
And I don't know if he's ever going to have a better chance to win the Drimore than he has now. Found a 50. Obviously, form let down a little bit at Down Royal by yesterday at Newbury by Conal Mustard, but as you said, he jumped fence to fence, was absolutely brilliant. Percival Lagua, we already mentioned, probably going to be outpaced. Ian Maximus, the class that he possesses could keep him there, but you would just wonder, is he going to need this run with a view to, they're going to have to run him in the saddles, aren't they? Like, there's probably no other race for him given his rating. So they'll have to probably go there. And Sharjah, as we said, he's gone. This is the biggest test for him over fences, but I'm going to stick with the favourite. I thought he's taken to life over fences extremely well, and I don't really think he's been extended too much over his 2 mile 4. And I tell you, ran brilliant in the Bartlett. Everyone was saying he was a 3 miler last season over hurdles, probably because of given his age and his. I'd say it's more his age, but I'm not quite sure he gets 3 miles. I thought he was. Look, you were kind of entitled to not stay in last year's Bartlett. It was a test beyond all proportions. But I think this trip over fences is absolutely no issue to him. I don't think the ground's going to be any issue to him, and the trainer is dying to win this race. So I'm going to stick with let's be clear about it. Another favourite. God, I'm going to have to go for a shower after this, to wash off all this shame. But I'll be on. Let's be clear about it. Deck. Remind us one more time who you're siding with there.
It's found a 50 tomorrow, but I would not be afraid to back Sharjah on good ground against any of the novices. Very
good. No, that's fair enough. And we'll move on then, Deck, to the Hattons Grace, the final grade 1 on the card, 2.5 miles. Unfortunately, not won last year by Honeysuckle. That sucked the life out of the crowd last year. when Honeysuckle had her first defeat inflicted on her. And it was actually Classical Dream that nearly that was chasing down Tihupo. Honeysuckle was third that day, but Tihupo back to defend his crown. A 20-1 winner of the race last year. He's only 11-4 to win it this year, but he's not the favourite because we have the returning Empire Pass, who's 6-4 on. A sensational Ballymore winner, really, really impressive. He came that route via the Moscow Flyer Novices Hurdle at Punchestown, which often Willie Mullins runs his best novice in. And I think that was Willie Mullins' best novice, even Facile Vega included. Buddy One, who's been, a revelation winner, Cheltenham last time out, over 3 miles in handicap company. Zanahiyr, ever consistent, probably a little bit disappointing last time out. Obviously, Bob Ollinger back to somewhere near his best, but you would have thought he'd be beating Bob Ollinger. And it's obviously as well the return of Ashrow Diamond, who was so brilliant in the novice hurdle here at Easter last season, the Mayor's Novices Hurdle, over the same trip. So, Dec, a decent field, competitive Grade 1, 5 runners. Who are you siding with?
Look, Imperial, I think Willie thought Imperial Pass was his best novice as well. And as soon as he crossed the line to Ballymore, he was immediately planning a champion hurdle campaign. And he's going to be one of the darts that he's going to throw, him and State Man. I'd love to know what kind of plan he's cooking, because he's planning something. He was so good, even at Punchestown, he was very, very good, where sometimes they can find it quite difficult. But the performance in the Ballymore, which could be turn out to be quite a deep race, we've seen Gaelic Warrior, who was second, come out and, put on a freakish show last week. It could be a really deep race, one well worth following. But look, I wouldn't be put off if he was outstayed tomorrow either, because Tihupo, he won it last year. He goes on the ground, although Imperial Pass clearly goes on the ground as well. He's a strong stayer. He was second past the post in the stairs. No, he was third past the post in the stairs. He was given second on the day, and then they lost it after the appeal. And he was beaten less than a length that day. He's only a 6-year-old. I think he's a massive danger tomorrow to Imperial Pass. And I wouldn't, if he outstayed Imperial Pass tomorrow, I wouldn't be put off Imperial Pass. I wouldn't be put off having it. If you wanted to have a bet on him for the champion hurdle, I wouldn't think any less of Imperial Pass, because he is a strong stayer, and this is 2.5 miles, or 2 miles 4.5. But the only thing is, Imperial Pass has stayed really well, hasn't he? Like he it's not always, you don't always have to be a really strong stayer in the Ballymore though, because it's usually run quite steady. But he went to Punchestown, and they didn't drop him back to 2 miles. He ran the 2.5 mile novice race. I'd be disappointed if Andy Peters won it. Zanahiyr looked very admirable, but he should come up short. Ashrow Diamond, to be fair to her, she was third in the Royal Bond behind Maria Nationale and Irish Point. And I think she was third to Facile Vega at Christmas then, in the Grade 1. So look, she's a fair yardstick. But I don't think she is a Grade 1 winner as well as a novice here, as you said. I don't think
rating a 140, that's, and again, you'd nearly be throwing these mares into handicaps.
What's he doing here?
Wild. Yeah, no, yeah.
What sort of a ride she's going to get tomorrow? And look, Buddy One is a rating of 152. He's only £8 off the Tihupo. And is Imperial Pass, does he have a rating?
160. So he's the same.
He's only £8 off the two of them. He's still only a 6-year-old as well. Maybe it won't be today for him, and he's probably not the price you'd be hoping for the stairs if you wanted to have an anti-post bet. But I had a quick look last night. I was looking for 50s or 66s, but he's not anywhere near that. So I didn't go away. But look, I'd be disappointed if it wasn't won by Imperial Pass or Tihupo, and I'm finding it hard to split them, and I won't have a bet in it. But I wouldn't be put off Imperial Pass. I wouldn't think any less of him if he was outstayed by Tihupo tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he will be. I think he'll just go and win this. As I usually say, speed kills those that don't have it. Like he needs to, Tihupo needs to, try and win this race probably at halfway nearly. He probably needs Dan Skelton on him or something to try and drag it out of Imperi Pass. But I just think that the cruising speed that Imperi Pass possesses, and he clearly is able to stay to 2.5 miles. Yeah, no, it's a good race though. Like it's a good, like they're two very top-notch horses, and I don't think either of them will lose anything in defeat unless something is wrong. I can't see either any of the others getting involved. The £7 is always dangerous with that, in terms of with the mares, Ashrow Diamond. It just depends how last year's novices do stack up. The race that she won, obviously she didn't go to Cheltenham, so like the mares that she'd have been beaten at Fairyhouse. Not sure if they're up to the caliber of the likes of You Wear It Well, and others who may have kind of left their Fairyhouse race in Cheltenham. So I think that's what she kind of has to prove. And it's a tough assignment first time up. And I'd say they'd be happy enough with third place. But I think Imperi Pass is it's probably the one to be with. My jaw was on the floor after the Ballymore. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. One of probably the best performances of the whole week, I would have thought. Really, really impressive. And it's great to see Willie not taking the easy way out and going chasing with him. Obviously, he thinks that the world of this horse. And the team tactics in March, I know there's two owners, but they're from the one stable. And I'd wonder now, as you said, what is Willie planning with this? Will they fire this lad out in front because he'll get home? State man in there too, and you just God knows, it could be absolutely brilliant.
That's what I was thinking. Will he go off and try and make it?
Or will he pull him? Or would they go for like an Aidan O'Brien Battle of Marengo type of trying to get Don Approach beaten in the Derby type of
just slowly wind her up.
Again, just start as a crawl. Because everybody, all the other runners, you have Constitution Hill, you have Imperi Pass, State Man, all the others will be reacting to what they're doing. So if Nico will probably go out and they'll probably try and sit behind. Anyway, we shouldn't be talking about Champion Hurdle.
Hill 3 times. On the way to the start.
It could be a brilliant race come March. Right, we'll move on then to one of my favourite races of the weekend. I've always had a soft spot for this race, the Bar 1 race and paying extra places daily. I think they've already said that in one of their titles, but they're doing it again. Handicap Hurdle. It's a listed race, 2 miles. This is basically the follow-on from the Down Royal equivalent. A lot of the same runners. I'll keep it simple, Deck. I really fancied Foxy Girl to win at Down Royal. She was a little bit too keen, a little bit too fuzzy, and they just didn't go fast enough. Rachel had to hold her up out the back. She didn't get the best trip. She's been raised £2 for that, but it wouldn't put me off at all. I think all equal, an end-to-end gallop, the fizziness out of her. I think she'll reverse the form at Magic Tricks and win this race. I really fancy her. I'm going to stick with her. Off 125, I still think she's well handicapped. That's all I need to say about this race. I know there's 19 runners, but I'm very, very sweet on Foxy Girl still. So that she'll be my selection. Who do you like here?
She's going to be the top of the nap.
Nap of the top. Top of the nap. Yeah.
Because I think at Down Royal the last day, the two of us couldn't wait to talk about her. Like we were, our eyes were drawn to her straight away, and she's gone up £2. She's going to take a massive step forward. I think you're bang on the money. There is one more I like though. Royal Eagle. He's in there off 134. Won at Tipperary off 128 in October. And at Tremor in August off 118. The flat run in between went second, giving weight to Fratas, who we mentioned earlier, the juvenile. I just forgive Cheltenham last day. I'm more than happy to put a line through it. Only a 5-year-old, could be a danger. And one to keep an eye on, it could be the day after, and it is a horse we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. Median Naranja. Is that right?
Media Naranja. Let me have a quick look. I'm flying through the. Media Naranja. Yeah. For the
third in the hurdle.
Oh, sorry, Bective Stud, not the Wileys. What am I saying? Bective Stud. We were talking about the Wileys yesterday. Well, go on. Sorry, Deck.
Third. It was third the last day to Irish Point. They got a lot of weight. Got £7 from.
Magical Zoe.
Magical Zoe. Yeah, she's gonna pick one up. She's only a 4-year-old. but I don't think it'll be. I'll be disappointed now. I'll be kicking myself if it is tomorrow. But I don't think she's not going to be good enough to beat Foxy Girl. Like I think Foxy Girl could look thrown in. But I do think Royal Eagle is a danger and could run a big race.
Yeah, no, she absolutely could. Again, loads of mares, fillies and mares in these 2 mile races. Again, like I kept saying how they could be dominant come to the end of the season. Anna Bernina, Royal Eagle, the Model Kingdom, Foxy Girl, Media Naranja, plenty of mares. Definitely more than you would have got in previous seasons. I'm going to stick with Foxy Girl though. I think she'll go and win, and hopefully the nap of the top 14 does go in. We'll finish with the bumper. Big field again. 12 going to post. A few 1 point winner, 2 point winners in here. El Gasparo and Undeniable Alibi. Interesting. Petite Secret as well, coming from the Willie Mullins yard, who fell in a point that was won by Just Gino. And I think that was actually at the last. And I'm not sure if he'd won or not now. I'm not too familiar with point to points. But Guandek, dozen here to choose from.
I didn't really look through, but I was drawn to the Dermot McLaughlin filly straight away. Oyville, just on knowing that he does run. He can have nice bumper horses. He can have nice fillies. Particularly in these colours. She's a 4-year-old. Don't know anything about her, but she's the one I'm going to be looking at, and just purely on experience of knowing that he has nice ones. Do you remember a horse called Avellino?
Oh, you're going back a few years now.
Yeah, she ran a really, really deep bumper actually at Fairyhouse. It was won by a horse called Lucky Max or Lucky Dream or something. He actually, the poor fella, he actually broke his leg crossing the line at Galway, but he could have been some horse was loaded with ability. And another one, the horse that was second that day, I think was called Annie Drama. Moved to Hardy Fry, might have ran in an Albert Bartlett. It was a really, really deep bumper. She was a really, really nice mare. Had her issues though. It was difficult to keep right. But look, he gets nice horses in these colours, Dermot McLaughlin. I don't know whether they're homebreds or not. I didn't even look.
I don't think they're usually bought. So yeah, they imagine to be bred. I'll check the dam. Dam will tell me everything. No, the dam is different colours. So yeah, no, they could be bought. I don't think though. I think they're usually sourced early enough anyway. Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying go and have a bet on this horse, but watch her tomorrow. She could be a nice one to follow. And they're usually, if they're good enough, they're usually trying and they get involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be interesting to see the market.
It will be. I'd imagine the point horses, Petite Secret, Undeniable Alibi, probably Blue Devassi, even though fair to say he might have been slightly disappointing at Sligo on his rules debut, getting beaten at a shade of odds on. They'll be the ones up towards the top of the market. Dermot McLaughlin does have another runner though up the top in El Gasparo, who was a point winner as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the market speaks. If the market speaks for the filly with Dermot with a point-to-point winner in there, that could be seriously.
The tissues have her at 8-1.
And what did they have El Gasparo at?
14s.
Well, that could tell you plenty. So,
yeah, but I don't know who does those tissues.
Yeah, they were horrendously wrong for top 13, and we called them out. And I think the traders agreed with me for that the lady riders race, where they were offering me 16s on Foinox and 8s on the other Elliott yoke. They opened up. I think they both opened up 6s. So anyway, that brings us to an end. The top 14 deck. That's the weekend racing covered. So hopefully with a few winners from top 13. Nap of the top being Foxy Girl in the 310, the handicap hurdle. So very much looking forward to that, and we will be reviewing that early next week. What racing do we have next week, Deck? Actually, do you know off the top of your head?
Navan and Cork are on next week.
Navan and Cork, yeah, Hilly Way, isn't it?
The Hilly Way is on next week, yeah. And I'm not sure there's probably a it's probably not really a high profile card at Navan, so it'll suit us. That'll be one we can get stuck
Yeah,
in.
absolutely. I think that's
This competitive stuff is too difficult.
see, exactly. Is that the race that was won? It was moved to Naas and won by Impera. Impera Pass won the main, but there was a race moved from Navan to Naas that was won by In the Pocket. Is that race next week? That would have been abandoned.
That could be next week, but I always thought it was,
Yeah.
a
little bit later.
Christmas week. Yeah, I always
Yeah,
thought
it was Christmas week last year. Yeah, because of the way there was reschedule and whatnot. But no, yeah, brilliant time of year. We see the top novices coming out either way. Navan, you're probably right, Dak. I think it is a little bit later in the month. But
yeah, I think it's the Saturday before Christmas, maybe. But we'll have to start planning for our
the Christmas extravaganza. We'll probably have to record a few podcasts without declarations, but it is what it is. I don't know what we're going to do with Down Royal, Leopardstown, Limerick, all of that on over the Christmas period, but we'll find a way. Where there's will, there's a way. We've a few days of no racing before it, so. But until then, guys, that was Tap 14. Very much enjoyed your company, Deck, and until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.